Okay, so we do have some issues here that need to be addressed, but I think I got the parts for it, and that's these bolts. See, this tractor had calcium chloride in the tires. When I was a kid, that's what we ran, was calcium, and Tim's got some worms there. But what happens with calcium chloride is it leaks and it gets down in around these bolts and it rots them all to shit. So they are a square-headed bolt, if I remember correctly, which they are, and they've even got the clamps on them, the clasps. You did save those, right? Okay, so these are on both sides, these clamps. And why were they put on backwards? Did I put them on backwards when I was a kid? I mean, I fooled with this tractor when I was young. I did. I put them on backwards. When I was young, there was two of these tractors. This is the 50, and we had the 49. Well, the 49, the front end got broken out of the wishbone, this guy right here. And there was a point in time when International stopped building this wishbone system for new. And, well, I think they still have, they don't make that anymore, obviously. There's enough of these things used that you don't have to worry about it. But my mother, yes, my mother, was running the tractor. She crossed a ditch and broke it off. Cracked something. I think it was cracked here. Cracked this here out. And this piece here is one big cast. We always called it a wishbone, but I didn't realize that actually worked. And that's what happened to that tractor. It set out there on the outside where the white grain tank is for many, many, many years, till finally it got, sent to the scrapyard because people would come and take parts off of it and stuff, and it was just a boneyard nightmare. So anyway, yeah, that tractor sat out there, and I had gotten this tractor running. Geez, I had to be 18 years old, 17, 18 years old. I got it running, and I would drive it in and out the tractor here, in and out of the building here. But I guess when I put that tire on, see, I had taken the tire off of that old tractor out there because this had two bad tires, one that was salvageable and one that was unsalvageable. And it had, the one out there had a good tire on it. So I salvaged that tire from the old tractor that was out there. And the other tire on this one was able to hold air, but it's since been replaced there. So I guess when I put it on backwards, because I didn't know any better. When you're 18 years old, you think you know everything, but in reality, you really don't know much at all. So, anyhow, well, that's your learning years, right? Mm-hmm. 18 to 30, I'd say, is when you learn the most about life and how things work. I was, between 18 and 30. Once you hit 30 years old, you should be kind of figuring shit out pretty good by then. But anyway, I think there was a couple of issues. Here's one. This got broke out somewhere along the line. I don't know who did it or when. Right here. I don't know why I'm not showing you, but it's packed full of old corn. I actually have a brand new one of these. We should just wheel the whole thing out and replace the whole wheel center and everything. Because I have a good center. I don't know how that would have got broken, but well, maybe. How the hell? Yeah, that's a pain in the ass to take that off, if I remember right. You got to pull that in.
I had to torch them out.
Well, then we won't be changing that. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's in a non-essential area of the wheel.
No, you can't.
No, it's in a non-essential. It doesn't matter. I'm sure my father would know exactly how that got broken, because I didn't do it.
I was thinking you could replace the axle.
You want the whole axle?
Yeah.
Why? Is it bad?
No.
Yeah, I don't think there's any problems here. We're just kind of talking through this. Those things are bolted. Well, they're bolts. They're not U-bolts. They're just bolts. You unbolt them halves, and it slides right off. Correct?
Was this here? What is this?
Yeah, that's a cutout for the tire.
Oh.
For the valve stem, I think, is there. It's the lug. That's what keeps the tire from spinning on the rim. Yeah, see this? This is all calcium chloride damage. Yeah. It's all calcium chloride damage. I don't know. I'm a little worried about this one. We may take that off. Wonder how hard it's going to be to take that off of there. Because we've got one.
Yeah.
Let's say, all right, here. We'll work on this a little bit here before we go ahead and... Because that's cracked or broken out. If we take these out, they're just 4 bolts.
Yeah.
And we'll smack them loose, and that thing should come right the hell off.
Yeah.
All right, let's go for it. I guess I'll set the camera up and we'll time-lapse the bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so me and Tim made the decision that we needed to replace this center, this wheel center, because I have a good one from that tractor that I had purchased from Jeremy Lee. And what I'm doing here is just trying to figure out what size the head of those bolts are, because I will reveal why they're different size bolts in there later in the video series, because I did actually ask my father what had happened to that wheel center. So I took off to go get the other wheel center and tire that you will see me and Timothy mount onto the Farmall M a little bit later. Now, I've had some comments about the the jack stands or whatever in the first video, that they were not big enough to hold up that little tractor. Let's face it, these tractors were not very heavy. That jack stand is more than adequate, and even the jack that you see at the left-hand side of the screen is holding the front end up where it's not like it's going to fall over and kill somebody. It really can't. Even if that jack stand did kick out, it would land on the wheel center, and that's that. So Timothy is having trouble trying to get these other bolts out, so he comes up with this gigantic torque wrench to try to use it as a breaker bar, which I did not find to be the most intelligent thing to do. So I redirected him to figure out a new way of removing those bolts, in which he does. The wheel center and tire assembly are very heavy. I flipped it up myself and I rolled it, I don't know, 100 yards until I called for Timothy, where he then came to help me out. And you can see maybe a little bit of shadowing. Here we go. He helped me get it up in there, and now we're figuring out. As you can see, I was deep in thought. I took my hat off. You see that we're figuring out how in the hell we're going to get those bolts out of there to remove that center. And now you see an extension. Well, a few months back when I got my toolboxes, Carl, my driver Carl, he picked up some adapters to go from 1 inch to 3/4, 3/4 to 1/2 inch, and then 1/2 inch to 3/8 drive. And that was how, and that worked out really well. You got to be careful doing that. I mean, if you get onto something that is too big, you'll... Okay, so that actually went quite well. Usually these things can be a real bastard, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're not going to have a real bastard. I'm sure my dad will tell me why that was broken, but I didn't do it. That's the old wheel, and here's this new one. It's not new. It's off of the M that I got from out in Iowa 3 years ago. 2 years ago.
It's missing a...
Yeah, but that's just a bolt. I have that. I can steal one from that one of the better ones from that one, and put it in there. I have the wedge, so I don't know why that's missing. But anyway, I do have an issue. Someone by the name of Tim broke those off, and then You twisted them off?
I twisted them off.
What the hell were you using to twist it off with?
The breaker bar.
Okay, so we got our work cut out for us. I'm gonna end up probably. You twisted them off.
Yeah, I twisted them off with that 1/2 inch
Wow.
breaker bar.
Well, anyway, I think there's all 4 of them are broke off. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think only one is still here.
I don't know.
Yeah, one is free. The other 3 are in there.
Alright, so we got to beat them out of there. So I'm going to get a rod and a sledgehammer, and we're going to beat them out, right, Tim?
Yes.
Yeah, probably either that, or we'll just get the torch fired up and torch them out. It's hard on the torch, though, if I do that. So I'll probably just beat them out. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned.